Core values is what you believe in and your entire team actually believes in, on how to behave, how to respond, and ultimately how to act. And that is kind of like the first step of start creating culture.
With core values, I think it's important because some people don't even know how to get to core values. So like what you and I did that helped us create our core values is read the book Traction. I believe chapter 4 actually dives deep into core values and what that means. I built my core values with our team members. And I was just like, give me one core value that you like. We basically sat down, it was about 10 of them, and we narrowed it down, which is our abbreviation PARPIC. So Esteban, we've hired close to 700 people over the last year, and we've encountered many different problems that these businesses are facing, especially in the investor wholesaling world. One of them being that they constantly have to replace cold callers, right? Whether they come from us or wherever it is. And they have a hard time finding cold callers when it comes to hiring from agencies, right? So what is the way that you think we're going to be able to fix this problem for investors, wholesalers, and really all types of businesses in 2024?
Yeah, so the game for wholesalers, real estate investors, really any business online is going to change for 2024, because now you're going to be able to go to a place like a marketplace and be able to select the individuals that you need for your team, and AI is actually going to help you find the right people. So you know that there is a lot of people doing this with Filipinos, and there's really nothing out there for Latin Americans. You can't really find a platform or a place where you can find your best cold caller, your best lead manager, appointment setter, a media buyer in Latin America.
Yeah.
Really, there's nothing unless you put Indeed ads and stuff like that. But now you're gonna have a platform that we're developing. This is why we're gonna change the game. So Remote Latinos is gonna come up with a way that uses AI, uses matching algorithm, and all our database of candidates that have applied through us, so that our clients now can find it themselves. Now, this is a good opportunity for people that have time or team members that have time to look for them.
Yep.
I know that a lot of people, they still, they lack the time of like recruiting, going through interviews, process of screening and stuff like that. And that's why we can help them that way. But with this platform, because it's driven by AI and a good algorithm, it's going to help them find someone in Latin America. Real quick, last time I remember that we had our client Ashley that she ended up posting like 2 or 3 jobs for lead managers. And within 2 weeks, I know that she found an appointment setter to be her lead manager.
I think
2 appointment setters through the platform. And this is just the beta, like the very first step of us going hard on this.
Yeah.
So for 2024, we're actually developing something that is gonna be our own, and it's just made for our clients.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. I think a lot of people are missing out on just finding Latin American talent. We usually recommend them to go to Facebook groups, Indeed, LinkedIn, stuff like that. But I think the platform is going to change the game.
Yeah, 100%. I also think that, we're not getting rid of our current offer because a lot of people don't have time and they don't have team members. So we're going to be able to still help them and find that team member. But ultimately, there are people that do have the time and they do have recruiters or team members, executive assistants that can help them with filtering the process. And we want to be able to help all the investors, all the wholesalers, and other businesses that we're going to get into in the future, find remote Latinos and be able to hire people that are of quality, that speak English, that are educated, have the skill, have the experience, because not everybody that is on the platform is qualified. We actually have them go through a vetting process to be on the platform. They're not just, it's not like anybody that's born in Colombia can get on there. We actually disqualify and remove applications of people that we don't think we can help right now. So there's very specific people that we have on the platform, and those are the people we're going to be able to focus on to help them find the remote careers they're looking for, and obviously help the investors and wholesalers that we're working with finding that talent as easy as possible, using AI, using the algorithms. And we're super duper excited. We actually just hired our developer team here in Colombia, and I think this is our second week now. From Colombia. It's our second week now. Things are starting to move and groove. And the best part is, what I'm actually really excited about is the fact that Esteban and I have our own businesses where we still focus on, meaning that this SaaS platform, we are not going to release it to the world until it is 100% ready and we feel like it is going to make a change. We don't want to release some bullshit like beta program that doesn't work, that has a lot of glitches. We want to release a real thing and something that's going to really, really help investors and wholesalers flippers, anybody that's in the real estate world, find talent the fastest, easiest, and most efficient way possible.
Yeah, and one of the craziest things that I've noticed is that business owners are still calling VAs this tool, and I don't agree with this at all. And our platform is really going to show that these people are not just tools. Yep. They're not just this robot that you end up hiring that just lives across the US.
Yep.
Like if you think about it, what if an American moves across the globe? Let's say they move to Australia and is hired by an American company. Do they become automatically a VA? In the eyes of business owners, they do. Because you're a virtual assistant essentially. Yeah. But they see this virtual assistants as a lower level entry level type of job where they can do leading type of jobs, manager type of jobs. They can't, think critically. But with the platform, now they're going to be able to see the video of each individual, how they communicate, how their vibe, like their tonality, their experience, and they're going to be like, wow. Yeah. Like I've been so wrong about VAs. These are really virtual professionals. Yes. At the end of the day, you're looking for a remote team, regardless of where they are. Another example is, what if a UK company hires an American employee here? Does a UK business owner call them a VA? They could, right? Yeah. They're virtually assisting someone in a specific thing.
Correct.
In a specific role.
Correct.
But they don't. Right? It's just my employee, just remotely. So it's the same thing that is happening here. And I think business owners will learn through us that they are just more than just this low-level, entry-level, not capable cold caller or not capable admin task virtual assistant that they're just so used to. And we're going to change the game.
100%. And look, there are entry-level positions that we're going to help with, right? So don't think that, it's all going to be like super high level. There are going to be entry-level positions that we help with. But the point Esteban is trying to make is they're not just people from the streets. They're not people that don't speak English. They're not people with no skills or experience. They're people that are professionals that can come into the business and make an impact from day one. Esteban and I have hired 40 to 50 people for our companies. And guess what? We know the people in the first month, how they're going to perform based on how they show up and based on how they are immediately with the team, with the culture and their results. So we're really excited because ultimately, there's a huge need here. I mean, we're talking about a billion people that live in Latin America. How many of them actually have incredible jobs? And how many of them, and this is something that we just found out, the average Colombian makes anywhere from $200 to $300 per month, right? This is in Colombia. The average bilingual person in Colombia makes about $500 to $600 a month. And with our platform, their starting rate could be anywhere from $700 to $800 per month. And there's going to be people making $1,000, $1,500, up to $2,000 per month starting. So what's exciting is we're talking about really, really high level caliber talent for the fraction of a cost of an American. And you already know, if you've hired Americans before, they're lazier, they want benefits, and they're not as nearly as loyal, right? Majority of our team are Latin Americans. Don't get me wrong, there are amazing Americans and amazing Canadians out there, yes. But we've noticed that people in Latin America, even in the Philippines, they're so loyal, they want to do everything for your company to make it work. So this is just the first stepping stone for us, because eventually, once we do this, we're going to target Africa, we're going to target Asia, we're going to target all the other places in the world and build platforms around that so we can help those places find.
Yeah, and jobs. I haven't shared this a lot, but there's one thing that actually changed my game, and I make 150K, 200K up and down on every month. And guess what? My agency is run literally by so-called virtual assistants. Every single team member is a VA. There's no team member, well, except for one that actually is like American born, white. Yeah. Just they're regular American. Yeah. Everyone is a single team member, and people will think that you would just need Americans in order to make your company go to another level. I've met people that all they hire is VAs, and they are like at $2 million a month. And what people get it wrong is that they don't know where to find them or how to find them. So just because this lower level admin, no experience VAs are applying to their application, or they have had bad experience with VAs, doesn't mean that there is someone that studied English really well by themselves, went to school, got a career, keeps leveling up, have worked with American companies or Australian companies, Canadian companies, but you just haven't found them. We have found more than 30 team members remotely that literally have run our business together. And combined, we're like at 220K a month. And everyone is a virtual assistant.
Yes.
They're a remote professional. It's crazy. And so now with this platform, we're going to be able to help them find people like them that are super capable. They can build your business. And even our tech team. Yes. Our tech team they're Colombian. All VAs. They're all Colombian.
All Colombians, yeah. We have 4 milestones. The first milestone is 10,000 hirings, then 25, then 50, and then 100. At 100,000 hirings, that's like, holy shit, we've done an incredible thing. I said in the video prior, I think one of the coolest things that I've ever heard in my life was Tony Robbins being able to feed 50 million people in 2019. It's probably 250 million people now, right? So with this platform, we're literally going to be able to feed the people that are coming to the platform and going to be feeding the companies, right? It's a win-win situation. The company has to win as well, not just the people. And the goal is to make it easy, fast, and efficient. If we do not make it easy, fast, and efficient for you, then we failed you. We don't use our platform. The goal is to make it easy, fast, and efficient for you to find the best talent in the world, right? You log into the platform, you see the video of the person, right? One of the things that we noticed, because we've used all these platforms, Indeed and Facebook groups, all that stuff, it takes I have to take these people through a process just to see what they look like. With our platform, you're gonna be able to click on a person's profile, and right there and then is their video. So right there and then, you're gonna get to see how they talk, what they talk like, what is their vibe, what is their experience, their CVs right there, and ultimately you make a decision right there and then, because a lot of the hirings that we've made, I mean, we were just impressed based on the video, right? We're holy shit, this person's like incredible. We got to at least interview them, right? And that is what we want to help you guys with. Get on the interviews as fast as possible and hire the people that can help you grow from where you are now to where you eventually want to get to.
And since 2007, I've been in the mission of actually showing people that, one, Colombia is truly capable of turning from this Pablo-focused, cartel-focused to another type of focus where there is exceptional talent. So when I first came to Canada, I thought that this Canadians thought so wrong about Colombia, or even Latin Americans, Mexicans too. And my mission is being to prove them wrong. I know that a lot of them, they just don't speak English at first, but just because they're not able to communicate doesn't mean that they're not 100% capable or better to do the job as a Canadian or as an American. Look, when I went to Michigan, I started working with a lot of Mexicans. And in reality, the automotive industry really is run by Mexicans. Look, Chrysler, General Motors, Fords, all these people have Mexican plants, automotive plants, manufacturing plants, designers, engineers in Mexico. And they're the hardest workers. They're also the most loyal, the ones that really put in the sweat. Look, I have no hate against my American friends. They taught me, they've been mentoring me and so on. But really, is that there's a huge value and a huge gap of you finding talent across the globe by looking into Latin America. So if you go to Mexico, you'll find amazing people, workers, people that are really, really passionate about working and showing up hard. Same thing for Colombia. So now our mission is being completed when we get that platform going, and you're gonna be able to connect directly with our Latin American talent.
What are the biggest challenges that you've seen with clients, our clients specifically in the investor world, over the last year? You know, we've worked with hundreds of them now. When it comes to, we'll do two challenges. One is when it comes to sales, and one about recruiting. So like, what have you seen has been a really big challenge for people with sales? Like, why are investors struggling with sales when they're getting leads from you guys in Hustle Media? And then why do you think people struggle retaining their team members? Let's talk about that. Retaining their team members past like 1 or 2 or 3 months.
I think the question is like, why do people struggle with leads themselves? The problem is that the sales is the problem. Okay, so leads is a solution that creates another problem, which is their lack of sales. So it's not that they come in and they know that they have a sales problem. They most of the time come in, they think that they have a lead problem, but in reality they have a deeper problem than that, which is sales, conversion, just talking to people, connecting to this lead, even getting a lead on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, It's so hard for people to get a lead on the phone, and then we generate 20, 50 leads for them, appointments, and then come like, oh, I haven't closed anything. But if you've only contacted and talked on the phone with only 40% of them.
If that.
And like the industry benchmark is 80% for you to contact them or to book an appointment with them. So you're missing an entire 40%. Also, when you talk to them like if they're gonna give the house away to you, or if they're gonna just buy from you right away without
qualifying them,
not only qualifying them, like properly connecting with them, properly understanding. And the game of sales is really understanding people. So when people say, oh, I have a lead problem, or I'm getting leads and they're trash and they're quality, it's mostly they have a connecting with people problem. They don't know how to talk to people, connect with people, close deals, ultimately get it to the finish line. Because everything they want, they're so focused on the transaction rather than focused on connecting with this individual, ensuring that they're basically more of a consultant, more of a like, how can I help you? How can I serve you? Rather than how can I get your house? How can you buy my product?
Yes.
Right? So that's the biggest thing that people are not doing. They think it's a lead problem when it's really you can't talk to people problem.
Yeah, I think it's, I remember the example Alex Ramosi had when he first started his business, and he did the flyers, and he would like pass out 5,000 flyers, and he thought it was a lot. And then his competitor was doing 5,000 a day. He was like, holy shit, that means that you're like 10xing the amount of opportunities that I have, right? So I think people think they have a lead problem, but really on top of a sales problem and process problem, they have a problem like they just haven't been able to connect the leads. They think calling them once or twice and then it's done. So that's great. So then let's talk about retaining team members, right? So obviously we've hired some incredible talent for our companies internally and even more so externally for our clients, right? We're approaching 700. But here's the thing, guys. We say we're close to 700, and those are the people that we're credited for. But I actually think to myself, we are way, way, way more credited. We have been able to impact the world, not just by the hirings that we provide, but the affiliates and the referrals that they get. I personally know like 10 of our clients that hired like their own team members through one of the people that they hired through us, right? So why do you think that companies, investors, wholesalers struggle with keeping good team members around past 2-3 months, 4 months? You know, and every other month it feels like they have to like come back and get a new team member.
The same reason why they struggle at first at acquiring a client and then keeping that client. So they don't have a great onboarding process. They don't take care of the client journey. In this case would be the new team member journey, right? They need a journey. They need even a better experience than a client. So if you think about your client, your most important client would be really your team member, because these people are the ones that are going to stay with you for years and years and years, forever. Hopefully, never, hopefully retire with your company. So they don't create that journey, that onboarding, for example, at the very beginning to make them feel like this is the best company that they would ever come, and we're going to take care of them. They're going to learn, they're going to level up. We're going to give them the tools. You're not just going to stay in this position, but there's opportunities furthermore. You're going to go to a good culture where you're going to be not only a transaction, but also a relationship, and then creating systems around that. So, and create systems and processes. So, what happens the first day, right? How do you greet them? How do you make them feel welcome? How do you go about their first 8 to 9 hours at the job site? I know it's going to be overwhelming the first week, but how's that feeling going to go? And then furthermore, you just can just throw them stuff to them and just expect that they're going to absorb it right away. Even if there's an American guy or a Canadian guy or gal, even if it's like Colombian, doesn't matter where they are from, they ultimately need that experience, right? So one of the biggest things is that they just don't know how to onboard a client, how to onboard a new team member. They don't know how to consistently treat them like a family member. Those
are probably the same people that struggle with like dating. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like they just struggle with connecting on a deeper level, and that's exactly how you build lifelong relationships and long relationships.
The difference is that you can cheat. You can hire many of them.
that is true. But in real life, it's like also, it makes it more complex.
Yeah, but one of the biggest things that we implemented is like consistent optimization or consistent improvement.
Consistent improvement, Kaizen.
We made it part of our core values. And Kaizen is this Japanese this Japanese self-development or continuous development process that allows people to go from point A to point Z while keep growing.
Yes.
Right? Not just being a plateau.
Correct.
But actually linearly or exponentially growing.
There's one thing that you're missing. Everything you said was great, but I also think it boils down to leadership, right? The leadership that you have currently in your company. Are you breeding leaders within the company? I think one of the biggest learning lessons I had this year is that at the level we're at, and even so much Hustle Media, I think it's important to breed leaders rather than bring leaders, right? And as we grow and scale, obviously when we get to like 300, 400, 500K a month, then that's when you want to bring a lot more leaders in the company. But I think right now it's important to breed leaders within, people that have been here from day one, people that, come in and obviously showing a lot of potential and a lot of promise and appointing them there, but also creating a long-term roadmap, right? Maybe someone is not a leader because, we've tested this with some people and they're clearly not leaders and they've been with us for a long time. They've been with us for 1 or 2 years. They're clearly not ready to be responsible for other people, because that's what a leader is. Leader is someone that puts others in front of themselves, and some people that's just not exactly their cup of tea. So I think it's creating the long-term relationships, creating the long-term roadmap, and just being able to build on top of that and showing people like, here's where you are now, here's where you can be a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 1 year from now, XYZ.
At the end of the day, if you're a good leader, you can create a great culture as well.
Correct.
Because if you're the type of leader that wants everything your way, you get mad because people don't make mistakes, and you don't give them the freedom of like making mistakes and coming up with their own ways, and they're just teaching them, like leading them, management, and keeping them accountable, training them, but also making them feel like this is a home, like this is a good place that they can self-express. You're gonna lack culture.
If someone was to ask you, how do I build a culture from scratch? Like I'm having trouble. I have 10 team members. I'm having trouble with a culture. What would you tell someone about, like, here's how you build a great culture? What's like one tip?
Make it one. Like, what's the one thing?
If it doesn't come naturally to you, we're creating a good culture. So for example, if you haven't managed teams in the past or managed people, or like if you've been in soccer and you were not the captain, or you've been in class and you did not organize activities or groups or like came up with stuff, it's going to be hard for you. So you have to learn about specific tips and tricks or create a system around it, because that's kind of what happened to me. I thought that I was a good leader, but I was a good leader of projects, not people. Okay. So what I ended up doing was I learned from people that just thought about leadership, how becoming a more of a selfless human being rather than a selfish human being, and seeing it in that perspective would open up your mind of what do they think and feel when I talk to them a type of way, or I address a problem a type of way, or I have a meeting a type of way, right? So there's this guy that actually told me, if it's hard for you to create a culture because it's not natural for you, start with your meetings and start creating cadences for your meetings, and eventually it will catch up. Where each meeting you go for good news first, once you acknowledge individuals that need to be acknowledged, then you address any problem that have, and then go into whatever it is that needs to happen during the meeting. And if you do that every single time that you have a daily meeting with your team, there's going to be a specific part of the culture where it's going to be associated to positivity. So that's one step, right? At the end of the day, you choose what culture you want to create for your own company. If you want a horrible culture where people are just scared and they run through like fear, that's up to you. You know what I mean? But I want to create a culture where people really trust me and they want to move without. I just tell them where they want to be, and they're independent and they go towards it. without having to think that, I'm going to get fired.
Yeah.
So
We don't micromanage people. We don't even use hub staff.
correct.
We're hiring people based on experience, skill, and obviously the culture fit. And we always say, is this person a culture fit based on an interview? And the one thing that you and I always look for is their attitude. We're huge on attitude, right? Positivity, that's one of our core values. But also like, we love asking the question, and this is a question that you and I have literally not hired people that did everything great. But we asked
This one question: why should we not hire you? Right? And if someone doesn't know how to answer that, or it's like, I'm perfect, or like they're really stuck. Because I know, like, if I was
getting a job interview today and
someone asked me, why should I not hire you? I would have certain reasons. Esteban would have certain reasons. I'm not perfect, but I'm humble enough to admit to those reasons. If you're not humble enough to where you think you're perfect, that one right there to me tells me this person's going to be uncoachable, right? How coachable are you? Because our culture is all about developing, growing, learning, right? We always want to learn new things. Like one of the things that we started implementing now in our meetings is, what did you learn this week? What is one new thing that you learned this week? It doesn't have to be even with a business. It could be something that you learned in your personal life. It could be something that you learned on the job, whatever it is, because we want to implement a culture of consistent learning, growing, leveling up, and adapting. So
So going back to your question, if I were to do it again and build a culture, and really, actually, no one really talks about this, and people say that this is dumb, stupid. First step is really creating a core values of your home, of your company, because the core values is what you believe in, and your entire team actually believes in, on how to behave, how to respond, and ultimately how to act. And that's kind of like the first step of start creating culture, right? You can bring those core values to the meetings, to the meetups, to the problems, to the conversations that you guys have, right? Like, so for example, one of our core values is Kaizen, always improve, right? So we bring like, what's next? What's there next to like learn? Or another one is freedom of expression, right? Or like, hey, I just want to say something,
Candor.
right? Candor. I just want to say something, and I feel like I gotta say it. Okay, they bring it up, right? Many of those things will start really creating your culture. And also, even though people say that this is all very corporate and stuff like that, is really have a mission and vision statement. Right? And so like a North Star where people can actually go to, and this is going to help them direct their path, looking at how the core value is and how you want to essentially run the business.
I think with core values, I think it's important because some people don't even know how to get the core values. So like what you and I did that helped us create our core values is read the book Traction, right? I believe chapter 4 actually dives deep into core values and what that means. And that really helped me find out. But actually, it's funny, I built my core values with our team members because we didn't have core values. And I was just like, give me one core value that you like. We basically sat down, it was about 10 of them, and we narrowed it down to 6, which is our actually it's 7, which is our abbreviation PARPIC, right? PARPICK. And because we pick people at a par, this is our standard. I know it sounds silly, but that's how I think about it. But for real, like core values are obviously super important. Creating a culture of people that trust you.